In relationships, it's really important to have conversation around that and set an expectation that it's okay for us to do that by saying, no, I can't do that right now. I can do it at this point, or I can do it in this way. Because I think there are some people on the spectrum that go, I can't say no because I don't want to disappoint my spouse or my friend or my whatever. Then there's people on the other side that just say no all the time, right? And they're not going, and then there's needs that are going unmet. And so there has to be a different type of conversation that happens in our ability to say no, because it is okay to do it. I think it's having a conversation on the front end, again, around expectations and laying it out. And then it's not always going to be a hard no, but it's more of, okay, here's how we can get to the same end goal, just maybe not in the same way one thought it was going to happen, which is totally okay. Because if you think about it, it's really the goal that we're trying to get to. As long as it gets accomplished, what difference if we go in a direct path or we go in a zigzag path? It doesn't really matter. And I think the other thing that you had mentioned around reliability, Phil, that I want to talk about that's really important for relationships is around, is the person able to demonstrate, or am I able to demonstrate the capacity for looking at both sides of the context or both sides of the equation? My side, your side, the other person's side. Or am I specifically only focused on my perspective, on my experience? Because when couples have arguments, a lot of times, yes, we want to get to the root of what we're actually trying to solve. But the other reality is we have to be able to demonstrate, and a lot of times we want it to be done without it being asked. I don't want to ask my spouse to see my point of view. I will, but I want them to just do it because they care about me. We all have this underlying expectation, I think, for the most part, that we want that. And so how do we, one, express it in a polite way, a way that's constructive, and then two, do a self-assessment of ourselves. Am I really seeing all sides of this equation or all sides of this conversation, or am I positioning my own perspective as most important and my own feelings? And when we all know, when the amygdala takes over and we get all emotional or things start to really flood, is what they call it from a psychological perspective, we're flooding. It's very difficult for us to be able to have that rational part take over, which we've given strategies for in the past. But I think it's really important to take a step back and understand for yourself, how am I showing up in those discussions? Am I seeing it from all perspectives? And does my partner see that I see it from all perspectives?